On October 5, 2024, a magnitude 4.6 earthquake struck Iran's Semnan province, causing tremors that were felt as far away as Tehran. The event took place at 10:45 p.m. local time, 44 kilometers southwest of Semnan, at a depth of 10 kilometers, according to the European Mediterranean Seismological Center, EMSC. While earthquakes are not uncommon in Iran, the timing and location of this particular event has sparked intense speculation about whether it was merely a natural phenomenon or the result of a covert nuclear test. Given the current geopolitical climate, especially the strained relations between Iran and Israel, the proximity of the earthquake to Iran's key nuclear facilities has led to widespread rumors online questioning the true nature of the seismic activity. In this video, we will explore the context surrounding the earthquake, the implications of a potential nuclear test, and what this means for regional and global stability. Notably, Iranian officials have yet to accept this as a nuclear test, maintaining silence on the matter, which adds to the intrigue and uncertainty surrounding the event. The earthquake. What really happened? On the evening of October 5, residents of Semnan province were jolted awake by a sudden tremor. The earthquake registered a magnitude of 4.6 and struck at a depth of 10 kilometers, which is relatively shallow and likely to produce noticeable surface effects. Reports indicate that the tremors were strong enough to be felt in Tehran, approximately 110 kilometers away. Seismic activity in the region. Iran is situated on several major tectonic plates, making it prone to earthquakes. The country experiences numerous seismic events each year, and many of them are relatively minor. However, the specific characteristics of this earthquake raise eyebrows among experts and analysts alike. Shortly after the tremors in Iran, a second, weaker tremor was detected in Israel. This simultaneous seismic activity further fueled speculation that the original earthquake might have been related to something more significant, potentially a covert nuclear test. Seismologists categorize earthquakes based on their magnitude and depth. A magnitude of 4.6 is generally considered moderate, capable of causing light to moderate damage, particularly in regions close to the epicenter. The depth of 10 kilometers is notable, as shallower earthquakes tend to be felt more strongly on the surface. Reactions and initial reports. As news of the earthquake spread, the Iranian media reported on it extensively, focusing on the geological aspects and potential impacts on infrastructure. However, social media quickly became a hotbed for speculation, with various users questioning whether the seismic activity was indeed an earthquake or something far more sinister, like a covert nuclear test. The geographical location of Semnan province, close to Iran's nuclear sites, only added fuel to the fire. Reports suggested that many residents living near the epicenter described the tremors as different from those they had previously experienced, raising even more questions. Geopolitical context, Iran's nuclear ambitions. To fully understand the implications of the October 5 earthquake, we need to delve into the history of Iran's nuclear program and the geopolitical tensions surrounding it. A brief history of Iran's nuclear program. Iran's nuclear aspirations date back to the 1950s under the US-backed Atoms for Peace program, which aimed to promote peaceful nuclear technology. However, after the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran's relationship with the West soured, and its nuclear ambitions became a source of international concern. In the early 2000s, revelations about Iran's clandestine nuclear activities led to widespread speculation that the country was pursuing nuclear weapons capabilities. Despite Iran's assertions that its program was for peaceful purposes, the international community remained skeptical. The suspicion escalated further when it was discovered that Iran had not declared several key nuclear sites. The nuclear deal and its fallout. In 2015, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, was signed, limiting Iran's nuclear activities in exchange for sanctions relief. The deal was seen as a landmark agreement aimed at preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons. However, the U.S. withdrawal from the deal in 2018, along with the reinstatement of harsh sanctions, caused Iran to gradually resume its nuclear activities, further straining relations with the West. As a result, Iran began enriching uranium beyond the limits set by the JCPOA. The country has also increased its stockpile of enriched uranium and has taken steps to enhance its nuclear technology, prompting fears that it may be pursuing a path toward developing a nuclear weapon. The speculation, earthquake or nuclear test. Given the current climate, the earthquake's proximity to Iran's key nuclear facilities has led to rampant speculation online. Could this tremor have been the result of an underground nuclear test? Let's explore some of the evidence that has emerged. Seismic signature analysis. Experts have noted that underground nuclear tests produce distinct seismic signatures different from those of natural earthquakes. Analyzing the data from the October 5 earthquake will be crucial in determining its true nature. If a seismic activity exhibits characteristics typical of a nuclear explosion, this could lend credence to the theory that Iran has conducted a test. Seismic experts utilize sophisticated algorithms and models to differentiate between natural seismic events and those caused by nuclear detonations. These analyses focus on the frequency and amplitude of the waves generated by the event, providing insight into the mechanism behind the tremors. Location matters. The Semnan province is home to several important nuclear facilities, including the Parchin military complex and various uranium enrichment sites. The proximity of the earthquake to these locations has led many to question whether Iran was conducting secretive tests in defiance of international oversight. Parchin, in particular, has been the focus of international scrutiny due to allegations that it has been used for nuclear weapon development activities. Previous satellite imagery has shown signs of activity at the site, heightening concerns about its role in Iran's military nuclear program. Silence from Iranian officials. As the speculation grew, Iranian officials have remained notably quiet. Despite mounting pressure and rumors, there has been no official acknowledgement from Tehran regarding the earthquake being linked to a nuclear test. This silence raises further questions about the intentions behind their nuclear program and the veracity of their claims that all activities are strictly for peaceful purposes. The Iranian government has historically maintained that its nuclear program is intended for civilian purposes, including energy production and medical research. However, the lack of transparency surrounding its nuclear activities has led to widespread distrust among the international community. The aftermath, implications for Iran and the world. If the earthquake was indeed a cover for a nuclear test, the implications could be profound for both Iran and the international community. Escalating tensions in the Middle East. A nuclear-armed Iran would significantly alter the balance of power in the Middle East. Israel, which is widely believed to possess nuclear weapons, has consistently viewed Iran's nuclear ambitions as an existential threat. If Iran has successfully tested a nuclear bomb, it could provoke an arms race in the region, with countries like Saudi Arabia and Turkey seeking to develop their own nuclear capabilities. The prospect of a nuclear arms race in the Middle East would not only destabilize the region, but also have global repercussions. Countries around the world would be forced to reassess their foreign policy strategies and military alliances in response to a nuclear Iran. International response. The international community would be forced to respond vigorously. If evidence emerges confirming that Iran conducted a nuclear test, we can expect an immediate push for stronger sanctions and possible military action from the U.S. and its allies. This could escalate tensions and lead to a broader conflict in the region. Moreover, a nuclear test by Iran would likely complicate ongoing negotiations regarding its nuclear program. Diplomacy, which has already been strained, would be further jeopardized as trust between Iran and the international community erodes. Impact on Iran's domestic politics. A successful nuclear test could also influence Iran's domestic politics. The Iranian government may use such an event to rally nationalistic sentiments, portraying itself as a powerful state capable of defying Western pressures. This could bolster support for hardline factions within the government while sidelining moderates who advocate for diplomatic engagement. The search for answers, monitoring, and verification. The world is watching Iran closely in the wake of the October 5 earthquake. International organizations, including the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA), will likely ramp up their monitoring efforts to assess Iran's nuclear activities. The role of seismology. Seismologists play a crucial role in determining whether the tremors were natural or the result of a nuclear explosion. They will analyze the seismic data, looking for distinctive patterns that could differentiate between an earthquake and a nuclear test. Understanding the mechanics of the event will be key to drawing any conclusions. This heightened scrutiny will also necessitate a cooperative approach among nations, with the international community sharing data and insights to establish a clear understanding of Iran's nuclear capabilities. Diplomatic efforts. The situation also underscores the importance of diplomatic efforts to address Iran's nuclear ambitions. Engaging Iran in meaningful negotiations could help prevent a potential nuclear crisis and mitigate the risks of further escalation. Furthermore, the role of influential countries, including Russia and China, cannot be overlooked. Their involvement in discussions and negotiations may prove critical, especially considering their historical ties with Iran. Finding common ground on nuclear issues could pave the way for a more stable regional environment. A tenuous balance. The earthquake on October 5, 2024 has raised alarm bells around the world as speculation swirls about whether it was merely a natural occurrence or a covert nuclear test by Iran. The implications of a confirmed nuclear test would be far-reaching, affecting regional stability and global security. As we await further analysis and verification, the situation remains precarious. The world must tread carefully, balancing the need for security with the potential for diplomatic solutions that could prevent an arms race and foster stability in a region fraught with tension. Ultimately, the truth behind the earthquake may shape the future of Iran's nuclear program and its relationship with the international community for years to come. The stakes are high, and the world must remain vigilant in monitoring developments in this critical area of geopolitics. In conclusion, the mystery surrounding the October 5 earthquake emphasizes the ongoing struggle between transparency and secrecy in Iran's nuclear program. Whether it was a natural disaster or a test, the event serves as a stark reminder of the fragile balance of power in the Middle East and the need for continued vigilance in addressing nuclear proliferation.